Hello, everyone. This is Emily with Senior Helpers. Today, we're joined with Callie LeMaster, who is a graduate student at CSU. She studies food science and human nutrition, and she's here today to share some information and what we can do with radishes, right?
Turnips.
See, I messed up something. All right, Callie, let's see what we could do with turnips. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. Hi, guys. As Emily mentioned, I am a CSU grad student. I also am the program coordinator for Market Days for Older Adults, which is at the Larimer County Farmers Market. The purpose of the program is to provide low-income older adults with fresh fruits and vegetables. However, due to the recent developments with COVID, we actually had to change the program design this summer. So what we've been doing is myself and some volunteers will go to the market. We purchase as much produce as we can, and then we pack it into bags where we have another set of volunteers who will come to the market, pick up the bags, and then drop them off at community centers like churches, or they will do home deliveries. So if there's anybody that's watching right now that is interested in signing up for that, or just interested in gaining access to more resources specific to aging, we're going to include a link to senior access points in this video. But without further ado, let's talk about turnips. So turnips are a root vegetable. They look like this. Some have some purple, some are fully white. They usually have really bright greens coming off the top of them. And they're pretty much everywhere at the farmer's market right now. So you'd be hard pressed not to find turnips. So what are some of the benefits to eating turnips? First, they are very high in fiber. And that can really help with reducing constipation. And it also helps us feel fuller faster. So for people out there that are trying to lose some weight, turnips are a really great way to do that. But when you're buying them at the farmer's market, you're going to want to look for the ones that are a little bit smaller. They can get really, really big, especially more towards the fall. But if you can, find the smaller ones because they will have like a milder, sweeter flavor. And you want them to feel kind of heavy for their size. The lighter they're going to have sort of a woody texture, but when you get them, when they're heavier, they just have a finer texture. If you decide that you're going to get some of the large ones, just know that they have a bit of a spicier flavor involved. So some of the things that you can do with turnips is you can replace mashed potatoes with them. So what you would do is you would just cook the turnips like you would a potato, boil them in some water, pull them out, mash them up, add a little bit of salt, some butter, and voila, you have a great replacement for mashed potatoes. You can also chop them up so you can see they chop pretty easily. They have a really nice, white inside, and you can chop them into small cubes like this, toss them in a little bit of oil, put salt and pepper on them, maybe some other seasonings like chili powder, and throw them in the oven at about 375 for 15-20 minutes, making sure that you're stirring them halfway through. And you want to keep an eye on them, especially towards the end, to see if they're getting that nice browning on the outside. And voila, you have some roasted vegetables. The last thing I would suggest is you can chop them up really, really fine, kind of like almost a julienne, and you can put them on top of your salads. It's similar to almost a radish in taste, so Emily was pretty close there when she said radishes. The last thing that might be really interesting is the greens on top of turnips can actually be consumed as well. You can put them in salads, or you can cook them up like you would collard greens or mustard greens. So one of the things that I also wanted to talk about with turnips is they are naturally high in nitrates. So people who have high blood pressure can consume vegetables that are high in nitrates like turnips because it'll help lower your blood pressure. However, for people who have issues with thin blood or are on clotting medications in order to help prevent their blood from clotting so much, I would avoid vegetables that are high in nitrates like turnips, just because they do have that benefit of preventing platelets from sticking to each other. But if you're already on blood thinning medications, it might not go so well. So just look out for that for those of you that are on those types of medications. So at the market, we have 4 different stands that I'm going to recommend where you can find these turnips. Sorry for my dog in the background. He has yet to make friends with the mailman. Still is pretty convinced that he is trying to do something very devious. But back to the market. So there's 4 stands. Miller Farms is the first stand that I'm going to recommend. They have a really great deal where you can fill a bag with fresh produce from the farm, from their stand, and they have a wide variety of this produce. And they provide you with a bag, and for $15, you can fill it with whatever you want. You don't even have to fill the bag up all the way if you don't want to. There's also Sunrise Farms, Native Hill Farms, and Folks Farms. If you're ever having any issues finding these stands because they're kind of just like spread out, what you can do is you can look for the Master Gardener stand. For those of you that haven't been to the farmers market yet, it's in the parking lot of the DMV in Old Town. And the Master Gardener stand is always next to the flagpoles right in front of the DMV. And you can go up there and just kind of ask them where the different stands are. They have maps and like little diagrams where they can show you where anything is. I'm usually there from 9 to noon. My stand is on the north lawn, and I'm almost always wearing these super bright pink sunglasses because pink is my favorite color. You're more than welcome to come over and chat and sit in the shade, kind of see what we're doing. I'm always really happy to have visitors. And lastly, if you do decide to come down to the farmers market, just make sure that you have a hat, some sunglasses, bring some water. It can get pretty warm. And don't forget to wear your mask. All right, well, that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, like I said, there will be a link for senior access points down in the comments, and we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Callie. And thanks for sharing all this information about turnips, not radishes. It was great information, and I hope everyone goes and checks out the farmers market or gets in touch with that senior access. Is that what it is?
Senior access points, yeah.
Senior access provision. Great, yeah. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I will include a link in all the social media posts. Yeah, so thanks so much for joining us, everyone, and thanks, Callie.
Yeah, bye, guys.